Hello and welcome to my channel. It's Darcy's Misadventures with Mixed Media, and we are here for dephemerember. It is just a combination of December and ephemera, and if you just want to decorate pages, that's okay too, but it's finding inspiration from each other and the things that we create. It is hosted by Barbara at 49 Dragonflies and Louisa Heinzel. I'm just trying to think. Does Louise Hines? Yeah. And today's prompt is forgotten snacks. If you saw the end of my last video, I legit had a forgotten snack. I had these Oreos that I had put in I had like tossed them in my bag of yarn, and it was like half the package. And then like I came across them yesterday when I was trying to figure out my friendship bracelets. And I was like, oh, it's legitimately a forgotten snack. I forgot I had it. And they're not stale. I was worried they'd be stale, but I ate one of them. They're not stale. And so my first idea was to use the packaging. But Louisa recommends you don't go with your first idea. And also I have this box here too, which I could do something with. This was from my swap partner, Patty. And so I could use the box potentially. So there's that idea. And, you know, I just had an Oreo, or I'd have a bite of that. So, there's those two things to think about. But then also, I was noticing, well, I mean, first of all, they're round, so I could go with something round. But also, no matter what you're eating for snacks, they leave crumbs. So I was like, okay, what can I do with crumbs? How can I do something that is either gives the effect of crumbs or is using crumbs? Because, you know, mixed media, that's my thing. And at first, I don't have any like beaded texture paste or anything, so I grabbed out a couple texture pastes. This one's pretty much, it's not hard as a rock, but it's pretty dried out. So my PSA today is to use your stuff. Don't let it sit around waiting to use it. The reason that Ranger puts these in small containers is because they don't last forever. And so you want these, especially, you want to use up. Use it or lose it, basically. Otherwise, you're just wasting your thing. This one, this translucent texture paste is still like, it's just like, it's not dry even a little bit. So that one is perfectly fine. So I'll probably use that one. This one, the opaque matte, it feels sort of like the, a little thicker than the light and fluffy. It's still moldable, but it's going to be a little trickier. And then this one, why I have two open, I don't know. I'm not that smart. Is, you know, and I couldn't make crumbs with it. I tried to make crumbs with it, and that didn't even work. So I was like, nope, that's not going to work. Ooh, fabric leaves crumbs, doesn't it? Like, oh, so does paper. So you could like cut up some fabric, and like these might be like the crumbs of fabric. These little fabric pieces. What else is on my desk that could give me ideas? I want to mix some crummy stuff in with some texture paste and use it on something. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of what I want to do. We're just going to use like fabric crumbs. These are just little fabric crumbs. Yes, this is where my brain has taken me with forgotten snack. Now I'm very curious to see what everybody else does with forgotten snack, because I'm not sure everybody's going to go for crumbs. That might just be a me thing. But you know, as soon as I was trying to clean off the package to be able to use it, I was like, oh, these crumbs. Look at all these crumbs. And I was like, ding, 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 crumbs. All right, I'm going to stop saying crumbs. And, oh my goodness, I've been trying to make a door. And I'm not allowing myself to open the door from my swap partner, Patty, until I make my door. And then, you know, I thought maybe I'd done something, you know, that was worthy of sending to Patty. And then it was like, when I came back to it, it was all like this. And I was like, no, that's not going to work. I still don't know that it really, and the first one looks even worse than this. So I'm not having very much luck with my doors. So I haven't opened hers. Also, I've lost it. I gotta clean. I really, really have to clean. Anyway, so there are some fabric crumbs. And maybe we'll use this to mix our texture paste on, if nothing else. If nothing else, we can use it to mix our texture paste. All right. So fabric crumbs, and then it's a good compliment. And then I've got my pastels. So I thought they might make some good crumbs. We've got the dark blue in there. Ooh, maybe this fun green right there. So I'm going to take one of my X-Acto knife things, and we're going to be careful because we don't want to cut. We're going to go away from ourselves. And I'm going to make some little chalk crumbs. Just going to make some crumbs for that. And I was thinking about mixing it in, but I don't think that is going to give me the look, the crummy look that I want. So I think I'm going to go ahead and, do I want to do a page or do I just want to do like a tag? Where's my unfinished ephemera would be helpful. Alright, so I found some base pieces, and if you're going to use texture paste, you might as well do several pieces at once. That's just the way you kind of want to go. So if you've been like thinking about PM Artist Studio, and if you wanted to get some stencils, we'll let you know right now that they have a sale going on. Not a sale. Well, they have sales going on, but they have a promotion going on where you get 4 free stencils if you spend over $100. They're like the 4x6. I could show you because they're in my house somewhere. There we go. It's an end of year promo set of 4. But if you can't spend $100, don't worry about it. These will be available for sale in the store in March. But here's what they look like. And I may or may not use these. These would be actually really nice. And I was thinking about something with circles, wasn't I? Ooh, maybe that one. And so, what are they called? Diamonds and dots. They're 4.5 by 6. And so this is just like an early release promo. And they're perfect for layering, it says. So there's what they look like. Yeah, they were still in the envelope somehow. I don't know. So those are an option. But also I was going to mention that they have these strippers. They're not dancing. They're just strips of stencils. So you get like 5 strips like this. Like this one's the breakfast one. So, you know, if you're doing a coffee theme, that's got, and then it's got this nice waffle one, which is just like a grid, which is kind of fun to use too. And like these come in so that, or they have the sets where it's kind of like has several from different sets. So like these are all like samples from the bigger stencils. So that is a good way to start if you're not sure what you like. And you make a lot of like tags and journal cards. They're just really fun to use like that. And that was how, well, that wasn't the first ones I bought. I bought them when they came out. I had already bought several. I kind of really like the PM Artist Studio stencils. All right, Bloopy Loops. I haven't used those in a while. Bloopy Loops. And then I just keep them in this binder. The last time somebody asked me about this. So this one I think is like 8.5 by 5.5 by 8 or something like that. It's like half page size. So the 6-inch stencils you have to cut down to fit them into there. But, you know, the 5x7 ones and stuff like that fit in there great. And I also have some that have 9x12 pockets. I don't know how well these last because they're display books. So they're meant to put the stuff in and then look at them, not to pull stuff in and out. So I don't know what the longevity is of them. But, my fan is doing weird things. But they are an option. Alright, so we have all this. And I was thinking about the leaves too because I had used them previously in the journal, but that's okay. I also have the turquoise stencil butter is an option. And I'm going to grab a palette knife, which already had stencil butter. But I'm also going to grab a cleaner one that has maybe a smooth edge on it somewhere. This too could also work. So I'm going to start with a stencil. Let's see, I'm going to start with something smaller because my brain will work better on that. I don't want all my crumbs to... Alright, this already has like a quatrefoil pattern or the clover leaf pattern. There. Is that better? Ooh, just hit my elbow on that. That was not fun. Ooh, and this one actually has some of the color. Alright. let's just do, oh, this. I think I want to do this maybe. Because it has some circles. This is like a geo poly kind of a deal. And I'm going to kind of do it like it's mark making sort. I'm just going to go down with, this is the one I want. I want the one that's going to be the easiest one to move. And oh my goodness. I appreciate the people that watch me and don't go insane watching me. I mean, if Carrie doesn't go insane, I guess nobody will. Although sometimes I'm pretty sure he's pulling his... Carrie the crafter, who I'm talking about. I'm sure that sometimes he wants to pull out his hair watching me. Alright, this is very, very thin. I'm like, I don't understand how this one's so thin when the other ones are so thick. Alright, pull that straight up. Take off any bits that I don't want on there, like that, and... feeling left-handed there for a second. I mean, yeah, my right hand is feeling like I'm using my left hand. That's what I'm trying to say. Alright. And, so I want to take my crumbs and just kind of somehow get them to land in here. Also, you want to wash your stencils right away whenever you use like a texture paste. And especially the stencil butter, and they dry pretty quickly, so you don't have a lot of time. Oh, did you guys get that in your face? I totally just got that in my face. Where's tweezers? Alright, I think that the fabric I'm going to have to mix in with it. That's the only way that one's going to work. And then the other bits I can probably just go ahead and... there we go. I'm going to put the fabric right... the fabric crumbs are going in the texture paste. And then this part here, we're going to, oh, it's right here. Going to shave it. Oh man, I just touched that. Okay. So somewhere around here is a dangerous sharp implement that maybe or maybe not has a cover on it. Here it is. And we're just gonna get some of these crumbs down into the texture paste, hopefully. Let me just go ahead and mix it into that one. I just didn't want it to change, so they're tiny, tiny little crumbs. And we'll see what it looks like when it dries. Let's try this. This is actually a pocket that goes that way. I'm just gonna... So, because this is a translucent texture paste, potentially what's gonna happen is... well, the crumbs are not going to go, it's not thick enough for the crumbs, I think, is part of what's happening. Why? Alright, you know, it's experimenting. Not everything is going to work perfectly every time. It's all fine and grand and wonderful, and now it's wet on both sides, and you really don't want that with your stencil because then you're going to get texture paste underneath. Alright. Sorry, Tim, your stuff is sucking for me today. So we are just going to go to the, not the crackle paste, and, oh good, it's not open. I'm like, the crackle paste cover isn't even on there. What? Why? Alright, I'm going to go for the light and fluffy. That is not, that's gel matte medium, and it's, that can, oh, look at, we're decluttering something. That's not the light and fluffy. Where the heck is the light and fluffy? We have this texture paste. It's thicker for sure. Yeah, it's not as thick. I need my light and fluffy. I just found my texture gel. I forgot about that. That has sand in it. Talk about crumbs. Alright, let's try that. We'll mix our fabric crumbs in there too and see how it does. It's not gonna go through. Yes, this is dangerous. Alright, but let's put some of these crumbs in there again. Can you see? Oh good, you can. Never know. Never know till I watch it back and I'm like, why are you so blind? Okay, putting the fabric crumbs in there. We got the sand in there. We got a little bit of the chalk. It's not chalk. What is it? Pastels. Oh. You guys, driving me crazy. Alright, alright, we're putting the cover on this one. This one is way too thin for what we're doing. I don't even know if it's supposed to be that thin, because none of the other texture pastes are that thin. That's like thinner than turquoise, the stencil butter. I'm telling you. Alright. Now, where's my squares? Or my, oh, actually here. I want a clean stencil would be helpful. Let's just do some of this on here. Okay. And I'm just going to go get our crummy mess in here. And hope that some of it okay. Just kind of get it as smooth as we can, considering it's full of crumbs, basically. Alright, go let that dry. And I'm going to do some more. And then we'll see which one actually ends up on our page. I know I could have done it actually on the page, but look, you can sort of see the crumbs in there. I think that's going to be kind of cool. We're just playing with texture, basically. I think I want to use the butter on that. Let's see, what can we do on this one? This is kind of a crumb in itself. It was part of a special order that somehow did not make it into the special order. So, I'm just gonna add a little bit of stuff to the corners here. Attempt to. So yeah, crumbs. So you could even do, if you're thinking crumbs, if that's where the, masterboard would be kind of like crumbs. Scraps are crumbs. So you could kind of go that direction. I think that the denim crumbs are turning it more blue than the chalk, because that's more of the denim color. I don't know. Looks kind of cool though. All right. So do we want to keep? Oh yeah. What else do we have here? I think I want to use the texture gel. I mean the other thing on that. I was thinking of these kind of as crumbs too, just because they're little pieces that are smaller, littler pieces. They're little business cards that I dyed at some point, is what those are. Alright, let's try this. And I need to go wash this right away. That's the pain in the butt part of it. Let me find something so I could put these in water right away. So about an inch or so of water in a container that your stencils will fit in. You can just stick them in there until you are ready to go and clean them off in a sink. Or even better, don't put the gel stuff down the sink at all. But I don't know how to do that. Somebody in the comments will say how to dispose of the water without putting it down your drains. Alright, I want to do some more of this. Of the, and I don't know if I want to use a stencil this time, because I remember when I saw Kylie Koo do this, she did not use a stencil. She just put it on there and then was able to get this really cool effect. And if I had watched her recently, then I would remember what that really cool effect was. Ooh, I was also thinking of not distress, but these things, which are really, but they're crumbs. They're just little tiny bits of plastic, right? But they're not going to mix in and change the color. They should just remain as little bits, because that's the embossing powder. So they'll, instead of changing the color of the whole thing, they'll just be just little bits. And, I was curious about how that would work. And of course, crumbs, embossing powder is kind of sort of crumbs. You can make it much prettier than this. Now, when Kylie Koo did hers, try to find that video. She made this really cool dragonfly thing. Oh my goodness, it was so cool. I'm just kind of making little texture business cards, basically. I'm gonna hope. What did I just drop? The chalk, of course. The pastel just fell on the floor. Of course it did. Hopefully I'll remember that before I... But this is the stuff she used. Like, exactly the stuff she used. I just can't remember how she used it, but... become texture. That's what it's going to do. Ooh, this one's nice and grungy. We might really like to do just some, I don't know how you get this to, it's just like playing with wet sand, except for wet sand seems more sticky than this, just saying. So we'll see how well this sticks in the end. I mean, it is sand, don't get me wrong. But I'm thinking that that other texture paste, the opaque one, added, is that the one? Would actually be a little bit helpful to smooth it out a little bit and make it more stickable. So let's try that, because then we still have our crumbs, but maybe it'll be a little bit easier to manipulate and still have the sand in there. Can you see me? Oh yes, you can. Okay. Oh, it's so crummy. Definitely easier to work with, I would say. Alright, we'll see how that turns out in the end when it dries, if it ever dries. Just going for texture, we're not going for anything fancy. Okay, I just overdone it, I think, but that's alright. Alright, put that to the side. See what happens with that. Oh, I wanted to do, oops. On this one, I wanted to do some of this, but let's go ahead and get the stuff off of that before I go dipping it in my, ooh, having a warm thing of water is helpful when you've got to clean off all the sand off your palette knife. Of course it's warm, so then also the paint that was on my palette knife. Oh yeah, if you're ever having having to wash acrylic paint off your hands, once the water's warm, it's going to come right off your hands. But it has to be at least warm. It doesn't have to be super hot, but it does have to be warm. And then, you know, the paint just comes right off. As you can see, the paint that was dried on there even came off. It's just the warm water is just all you need. Alright, let's do a little bit of texture paste. Maybe a little bit of this. So I've got this color on here. So I just want to kind of like maybe come across the corner. Come across that corner a little bit. And then I don't need a lot. But hopefully I've given you like some ideas on how to add texture with your crumbs, you know. Make it a little bit grittier. Now, unless I can go to the next one really, I'm going to put that one in the water because I don't know what I want to do on the next one. And of course, if I didn't want any of these bits, I could scrape them off right now, but it's okay because we're kind of going for a grungy look. And then also I was thinking of adding, where's the dangers? Where's the danger cutter? There it is. I didn't put the cover on that? Sure, oh I did, it just came off when I pulled it out. We've got pink on here, so we don't have pink in here. No, this is, oh yeah we do. So let's see if we can drop some pink crumbs into our stencil butter, and hopefully it will attach there and stay on there once it's dried. Oh my goodness, I love this. It works best with, okay, we're gonna see if it will stay. We're just, I don't know what to do to make it stay, like to get down in there without me putting my fingerprints in it, you know what I mean? Alright, I really like what that did. Okay, so far, this is the winner. The stencil butter with some chalk crumbs. Pastel crumbs is the winner so far. What's the other one that I had here? Ooh, this one could use the pink. Like a lighter version of that would work as well, which I don't really have. But what if I mix those two, kind of spread them both in there? What do we have that can kind of go? We have florals on here, so square might work nicely actually. Just a little bit of just a few little squares here and there. pretty sure that stencil butter dries pretty quickly, so you want to get in there and get out quickly. With that, oh, I got a little smudge, but that's okay. You're never gonna know. I mean, you are. You're good, and if I put something over it, you won't know. But it's going to be disguised by the beautiful little speckles that are gonna be the, you know, that's gonna be the what's the word I want? The focal. You're gonna be like, ooh, look at that. That's really cool. How did she do that? Well, it's a secret that she's told everybody. Alright, we're putting more crumbs on this time just to see what sticks and how it turns out. And also, this I don't want. So, I guess we're just going to have a smudge of turquoise over there now. Oh, and yep, nope, we're going to stop right now. Yep, that's not normally where I would put something, but I don't know. That's where it went this time. Alright, I want to do more of the, let's not put that towards our face. That'd be great. What about the bloopy loops? Let's do, ooh, I forgot about these down here. Loopy loops might be fun on these. And I know it's about the same color, and that's okay. Now, if I did not want my stuff to go over to the side, I just take a piece of fancy schmancy washi tape that doesn't stick. And protect it. Protector of the surfaces there. And I'm using a palette knife. I have in the past used the credit card thing. It's hard to get in there is the problem. So if you have a wider top, then you know it's a little easier to do that. All right, and I want to take this off. Ooh, that came out nicely. And ooh, maybe do I have yellow ochre in here? I don't see any yellow ochre. How about that? Seems kind of sort of close-ish. Oh, you know what would have been perfect? The stupid green that fell on the floor. Fine, we'll pick it up off the floor. And putting our crumbs and our crumbs and crumbs and crumbs and crumbs. Crumbs and crumbs, crumbs and crumbs. Doing it at the top and the bottom, and then in the middle we might do the tan. There's no actual tan. Oh wait, there is. Sort of. I'm putting it on thick because I don't know what's going to stick. And I'm kind of loving it. I'm loving it. And my son's sugars are high. Do you think he will turn off his... I mean, he's probably already had a correction, but... Oh, look, the washi tape only does so much. It has to fight with user error, you know? Alright, that's kind of cool. Alright, we'll see how that dries. What about this one? That one is, well, you know, maybe not hold that up to my face. I'm aware. Let's use this one maybe. Alright, put the cover on this one. So this one is, oh, Design Cream. It's matte. It's not shiny, even though I think the color is gold. It's not very pretty. So this may be just what it needs. Hold on. Okay, make sure my stencils are in the water, because otherwise, and then we don't want to necessarily contaminate. Well, there's nothing you can do to make this color worse. I think it said it was it's by Plaid. I thought the color was gold, but I'm not sure. For complete instructions, it looks like it separated a little bit. Oh, I hope not. Oh, it might have separated. Oh man. Well, because I didn't like it, so I didn't use it. But now I have a way that I could potentially use it. So I see this stuff on the bottom, but yeah, this is now basically clay. Feels like clay. I mean, if you were to mold it into something, like maybe I could turn it into a bead, but I don't, that was dumb. Why did I do that? Why did I do that? Don't know why I just put that. Alright, well, I'm not going to fuss with it. I never loved the color. It's not usable the way it was intended now. I could make it something else, but I'm choosing not to. I don't need that kind of... What about this one? Oh, that is... Okay, we can do this. That is like a coppery color. And maybe this would be nice on here. Now, I don't want to go where the fleur-de-lis is. I want the fleur-de-lis to still show. So... Now this copper stuff I'm using came like in a set with some other stuff where, like, of course one of the things was pretty much dried out. One of the containers, it had like this and like a darker green and a lighter green for like a patina effect kind of a thing happening. Okay, there we go. Do we want to put crumbs on it? That's the question. Oh, I put that in there first. Don't just wipe the whole thing off. That's kind of dumb. That red, we don't, the closest thing we have to that red is probably like this burnt sienna kind of a deal, which is kind of awfully close to that. We have some light green happening in there, brown. We've got this brown here. We don't have to do a lot of it. We could just do a little bit of it. Yes, the cover is off of it. Of course it is. Oh, also, some of the patina would be good. Alright, we're just going to do a little bit of this brown just to stick to some places. And then this, which is like sort of a patina green. Oh yeah, that would be awesome if that will stick. So crumbs. Forgotten snack. Crumbs. Or forgotten snack, you end up with mice. We could put them... Oh, that's so cool. Can you see that? I don't know if you can, because my lighting is pretty sucky. But using that green as a patina and the little flecks of the brown in it, it's really cool. All right, I'm loving this. You could maybe even use some of your brushes or color bursts, like just to drop on there gently. But they might have other problems that you weren't expecting, so maybe not. But the thing that has worked so far the best is this, which is similar to the thickness of, oh shoot, of the stencil butter. And the stencil butter is by, oh wait, put that in the thing. The stencil butter is by, who is the stencil butter by? Here it is. Oh, the Crafter's Workshop. That's right, the Crafter's Workshop. And this is a little bit thinner, but you get, I'm getting that kind of the same lift with it. And this was by Finnabar Prima. And it was a patina effect paste that I got like on clearance, either at Michael's or at Tuesday Morning, one of those places. So yeah, that's cool. Alright, so now we have some things to work with on our page. Now I just need to figure out my page and get it in the book. Need to do a simple page. My pages have been heavy. I don't usually do that. Part of the reason that I've been a little heavy-handed on my pages is just because I've been having fun. And it's an idea book for me. So that is another reason. Alright, see, I'm really glad that I used the packaging to do all that on, because now I can just, well, I might throw it away, or I might just save it as a scrap, throw some alcohol ink on there at some point after it dries. But you know, there's some good texture on there, so I'll leave that to dry and see if I want to use it or not. But I don't have to. I could throw it away if I want to. I totally can. Let's see, what if our page were, hold on, let me clean up. Just trying not to turn it off again this time. I think I'm just going to cut. Oh shoot, now I kind of wish I hadn't, but that's okay. I still want to cut these off, even though I might want to do some flippy-doos. Haven't done any flippy-doos. It's just I'm gonna cut this on this side of the line so I have something to attach a flippy-doo. What's a flippy-doo? Well, it's just, you know, flippies. Flippies in... Flippies. It's flippies. If I wanted this straight, I would have done it on my cutter. Apparently, I did not want it straight. Alright, and now I want to cover it. I'm just going to toss those. I'm going to cover it. This is, I might sand it. I'm going to pause to sand it because it's a horrible, horrible sound I hate to hear in videos, and I'm not going to do that to you. I mean, I have done it to y'all in the past. I'm just not going to do it to you today. There are some videos where I have done some sanding. If you have asthma, you don't want to do a lot of sanding, but the purpose of the sanding is just to give the glue a place to stick to. It's because the glossy surface is a little bit harder to make that happen. Now I'm going to cover this with stuff. There's the glue. Oh, I knew I had glue. Alright, I think I'm just going to cover this whole outside with a whole piece of paper because that's going to make my life easier. I can always add other bits and whatnot. You know, and any flippy-doos and whatnot. Well, if I were smart, I would add the flippy-doos now so they could be hidden under the paper. But that's alright. It's not necessary. So I'm just going to put this on here. And then you don't want to fold it until it's dry. Otherwise, you're going to get weird creases in your paper. So, you know, that's kind of an important thing. This was fairly neutral piece, I thought. So I thought, well, why not? And then for the bits that didn't get glued down on the edge, I'm going to take my art glitter glue. You could take any kind of glue. Tacky glue. Aleene's has a quick drying tacky glue, which is nice. Doesn't dry quite as fast as art glitter glue, which is what I'm using now, but it dries faster than tacky glue and costs a lot less than art glitter glue. So there's that. And you can get it like at your craft store. I usually get it at Joann Fabrics and use my coupon, so there's that. So I'm just getting down the corners because, you know, the ends and the corners tend to be not so great sticking points. I think you know what I mean if you've ever tried to glue anything. Let's see, this one is... I just stuck my finger in it. I want some of that to come off because it's just really thick, but it's kind of fun. I'm kind of not hating that crumb idea. I didn't have that idea till I started creating. So that's what, when you hear Barbara talk about doing is where the ideas come. That's what she's talking about. I'm not saying you can't get ideas if you're not doing, because sometimes ideas come when you're watching people. Sometimes they come when you've been thinking about something for a while. And sometimes they just pop in your head out of nowhere, which I think has happened to a couple of you this dephemerember. But a lot of my really creative ideas that have just been like out of left field have happened just from doing it, from sitting down and doing it, even when I didn't feel like I had any ideas and I wasn't sure what direction I wanted to go or anything like that. One example of that would be one of my Makers Creative Collab projects. I think it was the Get Your Crayons. I mean, I had all these other ideas on what to do with the crayons, but then when it came to putting it in my scroll, I was just like, oh, I don't know what to do. So, and that was one time where I just, you know, I did. Let's see. It doesn't really go with it, but it's on the inside, so does it matter? I'm thinking we could just kind of make a pocket, a side pocket, you know? Or we could have this be the flip, but it is plain on the back. Oh, I need that to dry first. I don't have the patience. Alright, the reason I left this one on here was so I could make a flippy on it. Let's see. So like this. Bone folder. When you can't find your bone folder, just use whatever flat thing you can find. That's why these little silicone makeup things are so handy, you know, because they're flat, but they also have this pokey part for when like you need to get into a thing. And then also they've got the little thing. This might be too thick. Also, some people use the back of their scissors. That's one reason you wait for it to dry, in case you're wondering. Alright, we're waiting for it to dry. We're waiting, and we're waiting. Alright, I think I'm just going to glue this on here. And I want it to glue quickly and adhere well, so that way while this is all drying, while I'm waiting for the other stuff to dry, that can dry. Oh my goodness, there's a lot of drying today. Alright, I'm going to stick some binder clips on that, or paper clips, or whatever you have. I have a million binder clips because I found them at the thrift store at some point. So that's what I have. I have like little boxes of them. It's ridiculous. Oops. And then I have these because somebody was using bulldog clips, so I had to have them. Anybody else suffer from have-to-have-it-itis? You see someone using it and you're like, ooh, cool, I need that. You don't. You don't need it. You could find creative ways to use something else. Just saying. You don't need all the things, because you know what happens when you get all the things? You end up with a craft room that you can't craft in because there's so much crap. You end up with a crap room instead of a craft room. Just saying. That's what happens. You think I'm kidding? I'm not. I'm totally serious. I have to go through my room again and declutter because I bought all the things. Well, part of the problem was I got into junk journaling right about the time that my grandfather passed away, my grandpa, and my brother was diagnosed with cancer. So I did a lot of therapy shopping at antique stores. I was also traveling because, you know, went up there at that Christmas time. It was before Christmas. I went up there, because my brother had just been diagnosed. I went up there to support them and also see my gram, who had just lost her husband and everything. And there's more antique stores in New England than there is in Virginia, guarantee you, or at least in Northern Virginia. And so I was thrift stores, antique stores, buying all the things. And I was like, oh, I'm going to sell them in my Etsy shop. It's going to be awesome, blah, 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 yada, yada. I hate selling on Etsy. So figure out if you like something before you go and do all the things that put you on that path. Yeah, I'm not good at pictures. I don't like listing. I don't like having to get things ready. Yeah, it's just, this one doesn't have the crumbs in it. It's just got the transparent, translucent, transparent, whatever it was. It ends up being clear, let's put it that way. But it gives texture and a little bit of shine, which is cool. So that one's dry, but I'm pretty sure that's the only one. Is this one? It's almost dry, and now we have more texture. So put a little, oh, these are dry on this side though, so I guess we're not putting texture on those, just the top two that are not quite dry. And oh man, I was gonna say those seem to be sticking nicely. I might have to put something on them to fixidate them, because I just learned the hard way that if you try to rub it even after it's dry, it just moves like that, which is not terrible, but it's also not the look I wanted, especially for that one that I ended up, the copper one. So I want the, where did that one go? Alright, well, we're going to find a couple things for a minute. Seriously. So I wanted to find my silicone brush that I just had, like seriously, just had it. And you know I didn't put it away, but I throw things is the problem. Because I'm trying to figure out, I thought maybe the silicone brush would work, but I kind of want to press that down in without rubbing it. You know what I mean? So we're going to try the glue stick. I think this is pretty much dry now. I wonder, I don't want to rub it though, because I like it as it is. And have I found the other one? No. And surprisingly, oh, this is almost dry. It looks wet, but it's dry to the touch. These circle parts are, and it's pretty shiny. Is that before or after I added the translucent stuff? I don't know. What about this? It's starting to feel a little bit on the dry side. What happened to the copper one? You guys, this is why I annoy myself, in case you're wondering. Totally annoy myself. I lose things. I just can't with myself. I just can't with myself. Took me a minute, but I found it, and I think it's dry now. So I just kind of want to press those little bits in. If I had been smart, I would have done it while it was still, well, sort of wet, but I don't want them to get rubbed in, you know what I mean? So I'm not sure what to do. Let's try. See, this is going to be rubbing though. Let's try this on this one first. Because I know that the glaze works to set things, you know what I mean? Well, you can see it took off the bits that were rubbed on there, and some of the other colors still remained. So we'll try it. The other thing it would be to try some gel matte medium. Alright, let's start with these little circles. Just gonna kind of dab my finger on it and not rub it. Just trying to kind of set it into there. Because I want it to stay just the way it is to do. Now some of it's coming off. That's alright. As long as overall it's gonna still be there and not just rub and be stupid. So I'm just kind of pressing it on, which is also going to give us a little more texture maybe too. It's taking a lot of the pink away, but there's just still just enough that there's little tiny specks that will, you know, I don't have to worry about those coming off. I don't know that the gel matte medium is going to do much better just because I have to rub that on, you know what I mean? Or, oh my goodness. Alright, here goes nothing maybe? What if we try it with just this? Just kind of rub it on there and just press it on there to just get the, hoping that the crumbs will stay in place where I put them. Kinda sorta. Hey, we will try things to get the effect. Or if that doesn't work, well, the thing is, if I put the crumbs on there now, it's going to be everywhere, not just on the that part. Oh, if I want them to just go on that part, I know what to do. Find that stencil, dry it off, and maybe this is even a better way to do it. I don't know. As far as, then you don't have to worry about it sticking. So if you wait for your stuff to dry, your stencil butter to dry, and then come back through with this, how? Does it go different ways depending on, yes, I guess it does. Okay, no. It wasn't this way. Apparently it was. Okay. Don't know how when the stuff was on the other side. So if I just go ahead and now go through this, where is that still it's not tacky enough. Alright, we're just going to rub this on here, get it nice and thick. See, we're just trying stuff, we're seeing what works. And then when we do this next part, don't leave your stencil on there too long, and make sure you clean your stencil off right away. So now we're going to come back through and, oh my goodness, here it is. And do this again. But through the stencil, hopefully through the stencil. So that it just goes where you want it if you just wanted it to go on the parts. That were, you know, the stencil parts, and press that down so that hopefully it will just go there. You want a little bit of the brown, maybe a little variation here and there is good. Yeah, I bought the pastels and whatnot, and then I did the class last year. I gotta put this in water right away. The what is the name of the class? It's like a class a week for a whole year. Wanderlust. And they did a lot with pastels. And I found out I'm not really crazy about the pastels. But if I can do stuff like this with them, then I can be crazy about them again. But using them in the traditional manner, it was just not my thing. I mean, I did a few things that were okay, but I was just like, I don't love it. I don't love the way it works. But I did learn about, you know, that process of just doing it, dipping it down in there. Into, you know, scraping it. That was one thing I learned. So I did learn that this green is kind of like a patina-y type green. So when you have it with the, so now that the gel matte medium is on there, it should stay. That's our hope. All right, so that might be the secret to getting the crumbs to stay where you want them to stay. It took me how long to figure that out? It just took us almost an hour to get to that point. That's all. All right. Let's finish this flippy-do. All right, I'm going to tear down here, and I'm going to put this on that side. Do you need to watch that part? Probably not, unless you're wondering how you're going to tear that, lady. I'm just going to do this. And then I'm going to fold this part and glue it onto there. I'll be right back. So I folded this, and I'm just gluing this back side here, and I'm going to glue it onto the side. And then I'm going to glue some more paper in the middle to make it pretty. And then I'll be back. Okay, I just made the flips coming out. I might add flips on the top and the bottom at some point, but I'm pretty feeling done today. So I'm going to put this on as a pocket, a tuck spot actually. I'm going to do the side here and down here. And the thing that was going to fold back, I'm going to keep forward. Okay, and I waited for this to dry before I... Alright, and now that's a flip, so I could put it over like that to make a tuck spot, or if I had put it all the way to the edge, that would have been smart, but I didn't. And this is art glitter glue that I just, on a very fragile paper, so we're not going there. This one is a little bit wide to fit, but I might want to put it somewhere, like maybe even on the back. Well, if it doesn't, yeah, it seems on there pretty good. So that might be kind of cool there, or I can cut it down a little bit to make it a belly band. That is a potentiality. Let's see. And then I have these other pieces. Yeah, that stuck on there pretty well, actually, surprisingly well. Of course, this is one that isn't the same. Well, I've got blue on there, and the greens. I don't know. This one will go in here good. That looks nice. Okay, hope that's dry. Because, you know, we don't check for these things first. This is fairly thin, but I think, let's see. Do I want to make it kind of a, it's still a little wet on there. Let's see. If I want to make it like a tuck spot or something, I would have to, oh, it's wider on this side. Okay. So I could I could make a little belly band right here. Like I haven't done enough belly bands. I don't need it super long, but I need it long enough to just, that might work. Just gonna do just a little piece of, ooh, do we like that red rusty better for here? If this is going under it? Or do we like the blue flowers, which is what we have on the front? Yeah, we'll just do, sorry, we're doing the rusty bit because that's fun. Oh, let's ink it. Well, duh. These are almost dry. These seem to be crumbling off some. I think that was before I added the other stuff. But they are too long. So I'm going to take scissors I don't like as much. I'm just going to cut them at an angle a little bit. Ugh. Just remember that's sand. You might not want your glasses going through sand. If I had thought one of these, I would have done the other direction. So yeah, not really happy about what I did there, because they're all the same direction, and I would have liked one to be going the opposite direction. But I can put lots in here because I've got, you know, like a 1/4 inch thing. So put this one down first. I'm putting it on as a tuck spot so that I can fit bigger things back there than the size of this. Put it close to the side there, and then make sure I put this one I'll put over some, and I'm also going to put it on as a tuck spot. Just make sure I don't go over the spine here. Oh yeah, there's a little bit of bumpiness back there. This is not the best idea. Some of those crumbs are a little thick. Alright, this one's not got as much on the bottom, so that's kind of good. And this one, let's just get some of these crumbs off of here. They're just falling off anyway. I mean, I didn't have to cut these to do this because if I could have just put them this way in the first place. And I could line them up. Like this one, I could have lined up with that one, but I don't like to line things up. I don't know, it just... Although if I had done it the other way, I would have probably put this one over and that one. I don't know. It's fine. It's fine. Everything. And I would have inked them. Did I ink them? No. Of course I didn't. That would have been smart. That's alright. We're just gonna throw a little ink at them and see if we... There we go. And need a lot more glue here. Might even have to do a little extra for that, but alright, so there's some more pockets. They need to dry a minute. This I'm gonna ink. So now I have a place for all my experiments. You know, playing with crumbs and the whatchamacallit. And that one can stick in there. Of course, did I make sure that this one wasn't too close to the fold? No, and so now it's not folding real great, but that's okay. And we ended up, I didn't need to add any more flips because just putting the pockets in, it's pretty thick. So I'm going to tie this. Let's see, we'll take our piece from this friendship bracelet yesterday, whatever. See if I can do this. Could put something on the front. I mean, that would be smart and pretty, but alright, I'm just going to, whoops, I missed a loop. You don't want to miss a loop. Grab all your things, find the middle, and then just go through there. Just loop it through. I still missed a loop. You know what? I don't care anymore. I want this on the front. That's what I want. So we have a loop. Oh well, it sort of goes, kind of, sort of. It holds it closed because it is thick. I'm gonna stick that on there for now because that might become like a belly band or pocket or something, and I haven't put that in there yet. It's still kind of drying, part of the experiments. And so yeah, that is just going to go, well, the whole thing might not go in here because she's thick. Unless I make this a pocket here maybe, and that's just too thick. So yeah, I might have to make another page, but this has already gone so long, and I kind of wanted to use this somehow, somewhere, so, you know, maybe it'll just be something that kind of slides in here at the end. Actually, that could work. Once I have my closures on there, that could just kind of stick in there maybe. I don't know. Or it could be a piece on its own, and I'll just stick one of those tags in here. Oh, I know not. Let's see, the bunny tag ended up going here with the charm that Patty sent me on the paper clip, by the way, if anybody was interested in knowing about that. And I could just go ahead and take one tag out of here, like my favorite one, which, I don't know, it's between these three, I think. And just kind of stick them here and there. This one actually could just stick right on there. And this one, nope. I know I've got lots of pockets and whatnot in here. Here, that would be nice right there. Oh, that is pretty. And, well, if I cut this down, I could make it go into a pocket. But we won't do that. We'll just kind of stick it somewhere. Just stick it somewhere. I don't want to block him. Not that I want to block him, but nope, nope, nope. Something needs to go in there. I don't know what yet. Maybe another. Ooh, this kind of goes with these a little bit. We'll just start combining some of our prompts because things are getting busy in the journal here. I'm really glad that I waited to do the binding part, because that has given me room to expand, and so that's been good. Oh, what the heck? Just wait, why is my brain not braining? Oh yeah, okay. Oh my goodness. Have a delightful day, guys. Love you. Go experience. Do like Miss Frizzle says. Take chances. Make mistakes. Get messy. Which she apparently learned from her parachute instructor. Maybe not make mistakes if you're parachuting or get messy. Bye guys. Love you.